Justice, and I'm fine. Is Apollo okay? He's been like that since yesterday. Guess he's been muttering to himself all morning. He's been like that since yesterday. Guess the pressure of today's trial is getting to him. Poor boy, he's really tearing himself up over all this. Get it together, Apollo. Yikes, Athena. Oh, when did you get here? Try to relax a little bit, will you? You're getting yourself way too worked up. Yeah, but I'm alright. I'm fine. You know, I did a little digging on this Sad Maddie guy. He's apparently not your run-of-the-mill prosecutor. Oh yeah? What did you find out? Well, they say he wields an incredible power to accurately read a trial's karma and its ultimate fate. What is that supposed to mean? I don't have all the details, but apparently he can foresee how the arguments will go and even beat his opposition. So the Deepens basically ends up going in whatever direction he has in his head. Man, this isn't going to be a cakewalk if that's true. Emma did say she would talk to him for us, though. Here's hoping that went well. In any case, this sounds like he's going to keep us on our toes. That's why I know you're ready. Why I know I can leave Trucy at the office to you. I believe in you, Apollo. Mr. Wright is putting his faith in me. I can't let him down now. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. There he goes. Again, it's almost like he's chanting a prayer. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine. If you say so, Apollo. The trial will start momentarily. Is the defense ready? Yes, we're fine. Trucy's fate and the fate of the agency rest on this trial. This is it, Justice. If there ever was a time to sense, it's now. Court is now in session for the trial of Trucy Wright. The defense is ready, Your Honor. And the prosecution? Prosecutor said, Maddie? 1,000 pardons. It was rude of me to keep you waiting. I was praying for the victim. Praying? Yes. Yes, I see. You're a Uranus monk, correct, prosecutor? Yes, that is correct. I am but a lowly monk from the kingdom of Kurain. I beg you to extend the forgiveness and kind patience of everyone here in this court. I am unfamiliar with the proceedings of this country and may make many blunders. He seems like such a gentle-mannered soul, doesn't he? I wonder if Emma had a chance to talk to him about Trucy. Now then, Prosecutor Sadmati, your opening statement, if you would. Certainly, in the name of the Holy Mother, I vow to guide the victim's soul to a land of eternal peace, known as the Twilight Realm. Now, let the last rites of the victim begin. Nayuda Sadmati, he's really been making a name for himself, apparently. But, that nickname, Last Rites Prosecutor, I wonder how that will come into play today. The incident took place in the middle of a spectacular magic show. The accused performed a magic trick in which he thrust a short sword into a coffin. A coffin from which the body of the victim then spilled out, a dead from a fatal stabbing. The victim's name was Manog Mystery, otherwise known as the Great Mystery Reeves. His blood was found on the sword that was used during the magic. So his death was just an unfortunate accident. It is only natural for one to assume as such, Your Honor. However, it was no mere accident, but rather a homicide. The prosecution's position is thus that this was a murder made to look like an accident. I see. And you believe this crime was committed by the defendant? After a thorough consideration of all possible scenarios, I unfortunately had no other choice but to conclude as much. So that's how it's going to be, huh? I guess Emma couldn't convince him after all. Very well. And now let's hear from the defense. Naturally, we maintain that the defendant is innocent, Your Honor. If the defense wouldn't mind, could you please explain your reasoning? My reasoning? Well, I would have to say that my main reason is because I believe in the defendant. I see. So you find it difficult to come up with anything more concrete than that, do you? What a fine demonstration of the fact that you are indeed a lawyer of putrid mind. The putrid mind? The prosecutor Sadmati. Excuse me, but I don't... If you don't mind my asking, prosecutor, what was that you were just chanting? A sutra of the Holy Mother that guides those of fainted soul toward enlightenment is a Kuranist incantation to awaken the foolish from their foolish slumber. Fitting for a lawyer who indulges in such fancy as the innocence of the accused. I see. So basically you're asking the defense to get real. Allow me these few words, defense. It is my duty as a monk to punish sinners and to guide victim souls to the Twilight Realm. Should you show repentance and admit to the accused's guilt now, no harm will come to you. But should you interfere with my sacred last rites for the victim, then I shall cast you down into the pit of hell, along with Trucy Wright. Now wait just 1 minute here. Putrid, pit of hell, is that any way to address someone in a court of law? Prosecutor said, Maddie, that may be the way you conduct trials in Curain, but I would appreciate it if you'd refrain from such charged language here. Your Honor, that was but a Curainist sermon for those who have strayed from the path. Harsh words are often necessary to admonish contemptible deviants who cannot see reason. Oh, I see. I didn't realize. I guess they really do hate defense attorneys in Curain. Even still, that was way over the top as far as verbal abuse goes. And the trial's only just begun. Well, defense, I suppose the way a prosecutor does things varies by country. Why don't we look at this as a cross-cultural exchange and try to be open-minded about it? What? Bailiff, please bring in the first witness. I thought she had said goodbye to the Snackoos. Detective Sky, the courtroom is no place for gorging yourself. What's wrong with having a little snack? Girls gotta eat, right? She seems a little stressed out. Detective Sky, your testimony, please. Yeah, about that. I just want to state for the record that I believe Trucy Wright is innocent. I'm sorry. Detective Sky, this path you seek to follow is misguided. Giving the wrongdoer false hope will only deepen her despair in the end. But I let it go and move on. Acts which go against your duty will earn you divine punishment from the Holy Mother. Fine. I don't know about the divine part, but I get the punishment bit loud and clear. I guess Emma got assigned tons of paperwork or something for sticking up for Trucy. She and Prosecutor Sad Maddie don't seem to get along very well, do they? Shall we continue? The prosecution contends that the accused had a clear motive. The evidence, if you would, Detective Sky. All right, please take a look at this poster. It's a true Grammy poster from 13 years ago. Is it just me or is it a little different from the one in Miss Wright's dressing room? This is a revised version of that poster. This one says cancelled under Mr. Reeves. That's right. Mr. Reeves left the troop after the first version of the poster was printed. Take a look at Mr. Reeves' right forearm near his elbow. See the big scar there? He apparently got that when he made a mistake while practicing a magic trick. That's quite a scar. Because of the accident, Magnifique Cranberry concluded Mr. Reeves was too unskilled. Just before the show was to open, Magnifique announced Mr. Reeves wouldn't be appearing. But in defiance of Magnifique's decision, Mr. Reeves tried to go on stage anyway. This in turn caused Magnifique to oust Mr. Reeves from the troupe on the spot. Wow. He kicked Mr. Reeves out. That seems rather extreme. If you really have to go that far. When it came to magic, True Granmary was so passionate, or should I say extreme, about it that caused problems for them from time to time. Yes, they even caused his court a amount of trouble with their extreme antics. And now the troupe's successor has committed a murder. It seems the troupe's rare talent was inherited by the right person after all. A putrid talent for criminality. You sound rather extreme yourself, prosecutor. Criminals with impure souls do not deserve sympathy or honor. As I was saying, after his expulsion, Mr. Lees apparently went on to hold a grudge against the truth. He would tell those close to him, I will get my revenge on Truth Grandmary someday. Revenge? That certainly sounds antagonistic. And then his chance for revenge finally came. If you would be so kind, Detective Sky. I guess I don't have a choice, do I? The victim planned to get his revenge on Truth Grandmary during Crucy's magic show. Mr. Reese was going to first steal the Grandmary notebook from the defendant. He then intended to reveal the secrets behind their magic tricks during the show. That was the victim's plan for revenge. And while he did in fact steal the notebook, the defendant murdered him before he had a chance to reveal the secrets. By the time the accused had discovered the notebook's theft, it was too late. Their only option was to kill Mr. Reeves and make it look like an accident.
Objection!
That's nothing but conjecture.
Objection!
The victim's assistant, Bonnie DeVamp, gave the police a statement. She testified that just before the start of the show, Mr. Reeves said, I'm going to reveal all Truth Grandmary's secrets on stage today. What? Well, that isn't exactly a great starting point for a rebuttal, is it? You're telling me... Allow me to give you one piece of advice, defense. And what's that? Let it go and move on. Excuse me? Helping a sinner will only sully your own soul. One possessed of an unclean soul will burn in the flames of hell, and then be ever burdened with that sin in their next life. Oh, but I don't believe in that sort of thing. Besides, I have no intention of giving up. Oh, Holy Mother, grant me the strength to deal with this putrid lawyer. All actions have consequences, and yours will surely earn you the honor of being a mere stink bug at best in your next life. A stink bug. Now then, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination, please.
Hold it!
I'm sorry, but what exactly is the basis for claiming it was murder? Beats me. What the basis is beats me. You'll have to ask Prosecutor Sadmati over there because he hasn't told me his reasoning either. Detective Sky, your feeding of information to the defense has not gone unnoticed by my eyes. The bad karma of acts which go against your duty will impinge upon you in your next lifetime. But even before that, it may impinge upon your job in the form of a transfer. But please don't get me kicked out of the forensics unit, anything but that. Poor Emma. She's really been risking everything for us. Well, Prosecutor Stagnaty, what are your grounds for claiming homicide? It was the luminous tape in the understage passage. I realized that it had been moved so that Mr. Reed would climb up into the downstage coffin by mistake. What? Mr. Reed, who was waiting in the understage passage, was supposed to have used the upstage ladder shown here on the left. He was to climb up into the coffin that was set up in the backstage area after being turned into a stuffed dragon during Act 1. Mr. Reese was supposed to come back to life and emerge from that coffin, but the luminous tape had been moved to mark the downstage ladder. So the victim climbed up into the coffin on the stage itself by mistake. The very same coffin the accused thrust her sword into. And you have proof that was my client who moved the tape. But of course, Detective Sky? That's right. I identified the defendant's fingerprints on the luminous tape. What? He actually had proof. Well, defense, are you finally ready to let it all go and move on? Absolutely not. Detective, please add the information about the prints on the tape to your testimony.
Objection!
I'm sorry, Detective Sky, but there's a flaw in your testimony. Really? The prosecution is claiming that Miss Wright moved the understage tape during the show in order to guide the victim into the coffin downstage. But it doesn't make sense that she would leave prints on the tape at that time. It doesn't. Please consider the fingerprinting results of the main coffin, which shows that not one of my client's fingerprints was found on or in it. That's true. We didn't find any of her prints on that coffin. I think you've realized what the flaw in your testimony is. Claiming Miss Wright left prints on the tape during the show is inconsistent with the facts. Because she was wearing gloves during the show. She must have left the prints sometime before the show started. In other words, her prints do not prove she moved the tape to mislead the victim. The prosecution's investigation was insufficient. Oh my. But on a personal level, I'm very happy about that. Well, Prosecutor Stagnaty, if the defense's argument is true, then we have no evidence that the defendant moved the tape to deceive the victim. I see. Apparently the defense is more intelligent than I had thought. More than a stink bug at any rate. Come on, you can bump me up to at least a stag beetle now, can't you? Would that really be any better? Of course, way better. Stag beetles are cool with those huge mandibles of theirs. If the defense forces you to be promoted to a stag beetle, then answer me this question. Alright, shoot. Even with no evidence that the accused moved the tape to misguide the victim, the victim still climbed the ladder using the tape as a guide, and entered the coffin on the stage. The accused then thrust her sword into said coffin with the victim in it. So what you're saying is the fact remains that the victim was stabbed to death, right? Precisely. However, this does drastically change one aspect of this case. If the accused did not leave the victim onto the coffin on purpose, then that means the victim's death could have been accidental. If it was indeed an accident, the defense can argue that was involuntary manslaughter. I see. If it was involuntary manslaughter, they could plead extenuating circumstances, and the severity of the crime could be mitigated. Defense, if you believe the accused did not murder the victim, then do you argue that was an accident? This is it, the all-important question. The defense argues that Mr. Lee's death was... The defense maintains that the defendant is entirely innocent. We believe that wasn't an accident, but murder. And what's more, we believe it was committed by a third party. A third party, as in the true culprit, is someone else. That is quite a brazen claim to make, and one wholly without grounds. Your voice is as loud as your suit, and your mind echoes just as loudly in emptiness. Surely you were but a loud red pepper in your previous life. I've been devoted to a vegetable. I didn't know a person could be reincarnated as a non-sentient plant. In any case, I do have grounds to make this claim. Let us hear this reasoning of yours then. Alright, but before I do it, there's one question that we need to address. If the victim was killed by some third party, then the sword the defendant thrust into the coffin wasn't the cause of death. If that's the case, how did we wind up with a dead body inside the coffin? A very good question. Now let's hear your opinion, Mr. Justice. How did the victim's body wind up inside the coffin? What if the victim was killed under the stage before being put into the coffin? In other words, what if the victim was already dead in the coffin from the get-go? Oh, I see. In that case, the defendant's sword wouldn't have been the cause of death. How do you respond, Prosecutor Sad Daddy? That is the third time. The third time of what? What the heck is this?
サトライマオマンドもさましで足し抜けたれがせよそのか
My head. What do you think you're doing? Even the merciful Holy Mother loses patience if she is struck 3 times. Since you never learn, you need to be punished. Why don't you let me worry about what I need and don't need? It is what you deserve for interfering with my sacred last rites for the victim. You are a brainless lawyer chasing phantoms. You know nothing. Let this humble servant of the Holy Mother give you an edifying sermon. A sermon. Now, there is a passage in the sacred scriptures of Curanism. A cornered frog will swallow even a snake. A cornered lawyer has unexpectedly struck back hard against the prosecution. Did I get it right? No, for I am not done with my sermon. And yet the frog still dies, its belly bitten and torn from within. Just great. And in this case, you are that frog, Dippin. What exactly is your point, anyway? Let us assume for a moment that the victim was killed under the stage. Who then had the opportunity to do so during the show? Let's see. The people in the show were Bonnie the Bear, the victim, Mr. Reeves, and Trucy Wright. Bonnie the Bear was on stage throughout the entire show, as easily confirmed by the footage from the show, which leaves us with only one suspect, Trucy Wright. Now do you see? The accused killed Mr. Reeves as he waited on standby in the understage passage, and then placed his dead body on the coffin above, thus making the murder look like an accident. O great and merciful Holy Mother, thus another putrid mind has been guided toward enlightenment. I can't believe I swallowed his trick question whole.
Objection!
Sorry, but I have to raise an objection here. Athena, what are you? There's something I want to point out, Apollo. And who might you be? You strike me as a mere child in continence. Oh shit, that was on? I hate it when I do that. I may be young, but I have an attorney's badge just the same. And you would contribute to this discussion in that capacity. I most certainly would. We just argued that the defendant killed the victim under the stage, but let me remind you that Miss Wright is a girl. Clearly, surely you didn't raise an objection simply to point out such an obvious fact. Your Honor, please send for this girl child's guardian to come take her home. But I'm not done with my sermon. You don't need to talk like Prosecutor Sad Maddie, you know? Listen, if the victim was killed in the understage passage, then his body would then have to be hauled up to the stage, right? However, Miss Wright is a young girl, and a pretty petite one at that. She couldn't possibly have hefted that large body up and put it in the coffin. That's true. It does seem like it would be a rather difficult task for the defendant. I don't think even I could do it. What do you think of that, prosecutor? Who's the child now? In my religion, the priestesses of Puritanism are revered as the pillars of our beliefs. So I naturally hold nothing but deep respect for women. I also think highly of the female perspective. Says the man who called this fair maiden a little child. Who's a fair maiden? I agree that your point is worth discussing, defense. How indeed was the dead body raised up into the coffin? By the accused Trucy Wright, that is. You're committed to pointing the finger at her no matter what, huh? Then you explain how that would even be possible. But of course... There was a way for even a small creature like her to raise the victim's body up. Wait, you really can explain it? I foresaw that our arguments would come to this, so I have prepared a witness. Well, well, I admire your readiness, prosecutor. It is really not that difficult when one can read the ultimate outcome of any trial. He couldn't have really predicted that things would turn out like this, could he? It's pretty hard to believe. Excuse me, but may I step down now? Yes, I suppose you may. One moment, Detective Sky. I'm sorry for, the way I handled all this. You did a fine job, Detective. Your testimony was invaluable. It was. Yes, you served well as a detective and did not allow your personal feelings to intervene. You overcame the conflicted emotions you felt and performed your duty admirably. You will be rewarded for your fine work. Thank you. I hope we can work together again in the future. Emma seems bewildered by the unexpected praise. I guess he's a pretty nice person, like they say, as long as you're not up against him. Now then, let us call the next witness. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the court. It's very nice to meet all of you. I'm a lagomorphic illusionist from the land of fairy tales, Bonnie the Fae. I can't wait to do some magic tricks for all of you. Please, witness, there's a time and a place for all things, including magic. But it would be okay if I do just a little magic, right? Come on, please. Look, everybody is waiting. Now's my chance to shine.
Sakura!
That is your second time. My second time doing what? There will be no further warnings. You should know that from our preparatory meeting, correct? Is no one exempt from His Holiness's rosary of suffering? May we have your testimony, witness, once you've recovered from your disappointment? Well, as a huge fan of Trucy's, I don't really want to testify against her. But I guess I have to, don't I? As a huge fan of Trucy's, I hate her. I loathe her. I can't stand that Trucy, right? Just because she's a little good at magic, she thinks she's all that. So this is exactly what that sniveling brat deserves. Sure, you're a real fan, all right, of destroying Trucy, you mean. The understage passage. I really can't believe that Trucy killed Mr. Lees. I guess it's possible for a small girl to lift the dead body up if she used a stage lift. Is it possible? Could Trucy really have? If Trucy did use a stage lift, I think she must have used stage lift too. I was on stage for the entire show, by the way. You were on stage the whole time, and you're sure about that. There is no question. The entire audience could testify to that fact. What's more, she is shown clearly in the TV show footage as well. I couldn't possibly have killed Mr. Reeves, not little old me. Therefore, the only person who could have killed the victim under stage is the accused. Furthermore, by using a stage lift, even a petite young lady could have raised the body up to the stage without difficulty. You've gotta be kidding me. Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Hold it!
Stage lift 2. You mean the stage lift shown here on the left? That's right. With a stage lift, I would think even a small girl could easily lift a dead body up to the stage. And so that makes her the murderer, in your opinion. Of course not. I believe in Trucy. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of hers. Oh, brother, how long is she going to keep this act up? Defense, what position was stage lift 2 in after the show? Let's see. If I recall, it was in the fully raised position. And the reason why it was fully raised is because the accused used it to lift the victim's body. Wouldn't you agree? Feel free to slowly mull it over while you roast open flames of hell, you evil red pepper. So now I'm also evil.
Hold it!
You didn't have a single spare moment to slip down to the understage passage. Don't tell me you suspect me now. I'm just trying to do my job by fully examining your alibi. Depending on how solid it is, I might have to suspect you. Yes. You've gotta be kidding me. Don't spit on my head and tell me it's raining, lawyer boy. I'm right there in the footage, or are you too much of an idiot to see? Mr. Finn, are you feeling alright? You seem suddenly different. Oops, where did that come from, right? Oh my, I seem to have snapped there for a second, didn't I? Hee hee. You didn't just snap, you broke character just now. In any case, I was on stage the whole time, performing magic. I mean, you saw me in the footage, right? My dazzling and flawless performance. Flawless. That's odd considering what you told me. You said that you had made a mistake with where you positioned Mr. Hat. Mr. Pym, to what is the defense referring? Oh, well, I made a little mistake on stage. I was in charge of operating Mr. Hat, you see. According to the script, I was supposed to place him to the left of the coffin. But I flubbed it up and made him stand to the right of the coffin instead. And because of that mistake, Trucy had to move the stage lifts around. I feel really bad about messing Trucy up like that with my goof. Darn it, I don't see any inconsistencies in her testimony. Now do you know who the real killer is? Come on, Gramps, don't just sit there. Hand down your ruling, pronto. Do it quick before you keel over up there. I beg your pardon. What's gotten into me? I'm so sorry. I give her another 5 minutes before she tears off that mask. Well, Defense, are you ready to let it all go now? Of course not. I'll never give up. I see. I suppose this too is fate. The sacred scriptures of Puritanism describe a variety of hells for the damned. For someone like you who struggles ceaselessly against his fate, Patrol Pojig seems most appropriate. People boil. What? Oh wait, that's Pyrenees. Oh, what sort of terrible place is Patrol Pojig? A place where the more one struggles, the further one falls into the abyss. At the bottom of the abyss, a ferocious beast awaits. Think of it as something akin to an antlion sandpit trap. Oh, there's one of those in my backyard. Wow, Kuwain's house is closer to home than I thought. Now then, it would appear that the witness's testimony supports the prosecution's claims that the defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim under stage. How are we supposed to get out of this jam? Hey Apollo, if you can't find any contradictions, maybe it's time to use analytical psychology. You mean, I heard some discord in Bonnie's voice while she was testifying. See, Widget is picking up on the noise in her heart too. That's right, Athena can hear things others can't with her super sensitive hearing. She can hear the emotions people suppress as a kind of noise or discord in their voices. Alright, Athena, let's give it a try. You got it.
Hold it!
Your Honor. I'm afraid that our witness, Miss DeFam, is suffering under terrible traumatic stress due to this horrible incident. She is. Yes, but with that terrible death on stage, and her beloved Trucy getting arrested, she's under awful strain and shock. In fact, I don't know how much more she can take before she is unfit to testify. What? Oh, I've heard of that. What is it called? Postal stress disorder, right? It's where a person becomes uncontrollably angry, I think. I read about it somewhere. That's going postal, Your Honor. This is PTSD. Oh my. So that's why the witness acts so hostile at times, as if she were a different person. Yes, and I think her condition is clouding her memory of the incident. Therefore, I suggest a short therapy session for the witness. Therapy? You don't know the first thing about a magician's mental strength. I've risked my life jumping through wings of fire and having my body sawed in half. Boy, I have to watch my temper, don't I? Miss Sykes, please do whatever you can to help this unfortunate young lady. And what exactly is this child planning to do, Mr. Justice? With her super sensitive hearing, Miss Sykes can hear a witness's true emotions. Simply from tone and inflection, she can tell exactly what a person is feeling. I can even pick out feelings that a witness is trying to suppress or hide. Widget projects the emotions I hear into the mood matrix where I can analyze them. It sounds like some sort of spurious devilry, though I find it hard to believe. I must ask, how do emotions constitute substitute evidence. While I won't say that emotions can be taken as evidence personally, I have seen countless people when Miss Sykes' work has been in cracking a case. Therefore, I fully support giving it a try. I see. If you are in favor of it, Goron, then I have no objections. Even this mere monk can see that something disturbs the witness. I'll disturb you.
Mario said, "Hello."
Hello, Mario. Welcome to the stream. I hope both you and Princess Peach are safe, and Bowser is not bothering you too much. Welcome on in. Thank you for understanding, Prosecutor Sad Maddie. Apollo, you remember how to conduct a therapy session, right? You want me to lead the session. Of course, you're the lead on this case after all. Fair enough. Do I need a refresher? No, there's no need. I think I still remember from the last time, so let's get right into it. Okie dokie. You ready, Widget? Let's do this.
Mario said, "I will let Peach die, thanks for asking."
Oh, so you just don't care anymore. Okay, that's fair. She does seem to get kidnapped a lot. I can empathize with just wanting to just not care anymore. I can understand it.
Got it!
I have to say, Mr. Pham, you certainly are a strange one. Even though you said I feel so bad about it,
Mario
it seems you're feeling happy
said,
about it.
"I'm an old man now."
It happens to the best of us. We all end up getting old, and turtles live a lot longer than humans. So it's just a matter of time before Bowser outlives you. That's just how it goes. Even though you said, yeah, so just feel free to retire and just eat your mushrooms and plum pipes in peace. Just live out your retirement. It's all good. I feel so bad about it. It seems you're feeling happy about it. I think I can guess why you're feeling happy. It must be because you messed Trucy up. I think you're happy because you messed the defendant up. I'm right, aren't I? You gotta be kidding me. Why would I be happy I messed Trucy up? I'm a big fan of hers. Because we saw you. I hate her. I loathe her. I can't stand that Trucy, right? Just because she's a little good at magic, she thinks she's all that. So this is exactly what that sniveling brat deserves. We saw how you said you hated Trucy,
Mario
right?
said, "Also Luchel is dead too."
Oh no, your brother as well? At this point, everybody's dead, right? Well, it happens, I suppose. I hope it was a peaceful passing. What about Yoshi? Is Yoshi dead too? I guess everybody's dead, huh? How you were glad she was in trouble, and even how it was what she deserved. Looks like I hit the button on the head, so to speak. Apollo, the noise level dropped. Now if we could get it down to 0. Well, Mr. Fan, are you ready to confess how you really feel? Oh, what? What do you mean? I'm Bonnie, the sweet, cute little bunny. I'm a rookie magician working hard to be just like my idol. That's the character I'm supposed to be. Keep that up, Mr. Fan, and you're going to have a
Mario
mental breakdown.
said. Yoshi Power Toad Koopa Shy Guy is dead too.
Everybody's dead. Okay, at this point, I must ask, are you sure you're not dead? Because you might very well be dead and you're just not aware you are. I've heard of that sometimes, you know, like ghosts just moving on, or yeah. Just double checking there. Just let yourself be who you really are. Who I really am. The two sides of you are fighting each other and doing you psychic harm. I can hear them. Two distinct voices battling inside you. Just shut your pie hole, you know nothing, know-it-all. I mean, you mustn't say things like that or I might get flustered. Mr. Fan, how long do you insist on maintaining this wolf in sheep's clothing act? We can't end this therapy session until you get real with us. Set the wild beast inside you free.
Mario said. Yet I'm not dead. Ow, that hurt. Why, Athena, did you stab me?
Don't make me laugh. You don't know a dang thing about me. You want to see who I really am? Fine. Take a good look. Oh, what in the world? Sheep's clothing, you got it all wrong. It's a rabbit suit I've got on, and I'm not a wolf. I'm a blood-sucking vampire, a bat with fangs and wings. I think we just opened Pandora's box. I'm finally done with that goody two-shoes contail act. I feel free as a bat. Defense, your therapy session has taken a turn for the worse from the looks of it. There's a perfectly good explanation for this, isn't there, Miss Sykes? Methinks I created a monster. We blew it. Hey you, lobster boy. Who, me? You think I'm glad Trucy is in trouble? That I think she's getting her just desserts. Well, guess what? You're right. Does this mean you admit to wishing the defendant harm? Well, the bat is out of the bag now. That mistake of mine was a work of art. Thanks to my goof, poor little Trucy had to do all that hard physical labor. When you say hard physical labor, what are you referring to? Because of Mr. Hat's new position, Trucy had to move both of those huge stage lifts. They must have been so heavy. What a riot. That's strange. Athena, could you please add that last statement to Bonnie's testimony? Alright, I'll update the mood matrix with the new info. Hey, Apollo, now there's a new inconsistency in the testimony. Yeah, she finally slipped up. So what do I need to do now? Well, from this point onward, you just do what you do best. Find the contradiction in the testimony and present evidence to refute it. Alright, I've got you now, Bonnie the Fan.
Objection!
That doesn't make sense. What? So you think I'm crazy now? No, that's not the point I was trying to make. I don't hear you denying it. Mr. Pham, allow me to repeat your statement. Thanks to that, she ended up having to move the stage lifts. That's right, and I still say that's just what she deserved. But how did you know? How did you know Miss Wright moved the stage lifts? According to her own statement, she didn't tell anyone that she had done so. Or what? So how could you possibly have known what she had done? Unless you saw her. You saw Miss Wright moving the lifts in the understage passage, didn't you? You did it, Apollo. Noise levels are at 0. But Mr. Justice, wouldn't that mean... Yes, Your Honor. Miss Pham herself was under the stage where the victim was killed. And I hardly need to tell the court what that means. You are one artful liar, Mr. Pham, and one spectacular suspect. Oh, why, you shiny red lobster boy. You're saying I killed Mr. Reeves. I'm saying that's a possibility. What's more, I say you had a solid motive to frame my client for the murder as well.
Objection!
My apologies for raining on the defense's merry revelry, but you seem to have forgotten one very important point. Oh, really? The TV footage, as you can clearly see, Mr. Pham was on the stage the whole time. The entire audience can bear witness to that fact, including you. You have just taken a long and senseless journey, only to return to the starting line. The witness could not have been in the understage passage, which means the only one left who could have killed the victim is the accused. Guess the party's over. But Mr. Pham knew something she couldn't have known unless she was under the stage. How do you explain that, Prosecutor Sadmadi?
Stream Elements said. Stay moist, my friends. Hydrate.
It's quite simple. The accused must have told Mr. Pham about it, but then forgot. Open those useless eyes of yours and take a good look at the footage. If Mr. Pham really was in the understage passage, it would mean she was on stage and understage at the same time. You mean she was in two places at once? That does seem to be the only explanation that makes any sense. It may be an explanation, but I'm not so sure about the make sense part. Then we'll just have to make it make sense. Your Honor, the witness was both on stage and understage at the same time. That is the defense's assertion. I've heard some illogical things come out of you before, but this is absurd. I'm sure you'll change your tune once you hear my reasoning, Your Honor. My gut tells me you're bluffing, but I'll bite. Very well, Mr. Justice. How do you explain the witness was in two places at once? Obviously there were two Bonnies. There were two Bonnies, Your Honor. If that were the case, it would all make sense, wouldn't it? There were two of them. I suspected you had a few screws loose, but now I see some are missing altogether. Is there a toolkit in this courtroom, Your Honor? I suppose no. 2. No 3 screws to the head which should brighten his putrid brain. Very well. Bailiff, could you? No, wait! Please listen to my argument. Very well. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to at least give it a listen. As was argued earlier, Miss DeFam is shown in the footage the whole time, but at the same time she was also watching Miss Wright in the understage passage. The only possible explanation is that there are two Bonnies. That almost sounds like it makes sense. What do you think, Prosecutor Sadnatty? This humble servant of the Holy Mother is of the opinion that we should lose no time in replacing the defense's many lost screws. But, Apollo, it goes against reality itself to say that one person is actually two. But we don't have to be bound by reality. After all, we're talking about magic here. So if the Bonnie DeFam in the footage is the real Bonnie, then the Bonnie here on the witness stand, the one who must have been understage, this Bonnie DeFam is our second Bonnie. She is. Say we call the one in front of us Bonnie 2. I believe I've just a piece of evidence that Miss Bonnie. Oh, then please submit your evidence, Mr. Justice. What proves the existence of a Bonnie 2?
Take that!
What's this? During our investigation, we found a set of unknown prints on the coffin on the stage. These prints were most likely left during the course of the show, but they didn't match the prints of any of the people involved in this case. An unknown third party's fingerprints. I was not told of this. Emma must have kept it from him. So the question is, who could these prints possibly belong to? Miss DeFam, or should I say Bonnie 2? These are your fingerprints, aren't they? Enough of this foolishness. One person could not possibly be two. Those fingerprints could have been left not only during the show, but at any time. It's not like you to lose your cool like that, Prosecutor Sadnatty. And I'm sure you know that. Exactly when the fingerprints were made is not the main issue. What do you mean by that, Mr. Justice? The issue is, who do these unknown prints belong to? They're certainly not Bonnie the Vamps. But what if they belong to the person standing right in front of us? You mean Bonnie 2 is the second Bonnie? Is that what you're implying? It's preposterous to suggest that those prints belong to the witness. I say they must belong to some other unknown individual. Prosecutor Sad Maddie, can you really look at her and still say that? What are you looking at? Take a picture. It'll last longer. How could this be? If we check her prints, I'm sure they'll match the unknown set. Well, Bonnie, the prints that don't belong to the real you belong to you, don't they, Bonnie 2? Oh, witness, is what the defense has said true? Fine, I admit it. The fingerprints are mine. And does that mean you aren't Bonnie the Vamp? What ridiculous. Are there really two Bonnies? Nope, there's only one Bonnie. That's because I'm Betty. Betty the Vamp. What? Or Batty the Vamp. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, it's time for a wondrous magic show. Gasp in amazement as this lacomorphing illusionist performs her teleportation magic. Watch closely, it's showtime. What an amazing trick. The witness has suddenly split into two people. It's not a trick, no gimmick to it either. They're simply twins. What? Twins! So that's how the teleportation trick works. Ever since our debut, I've had to hide or pretend I'm Bonnie. All cute and sweet and goody-goody. I can't tell you how stressful it's been. But I don't have to hide anymore. That's right, our days of sneaking around are finally over. Their cover is blown, but they actually seem pretty happy about it. So which one of you is the nice Bonnie today we met in the dressing room? That would be me. And the sharp-tongued Bonnie we saw with the radiant Raha under stage was... Who are you calling sharp-tongued? It's all starting to make sense now. So, Mr. Justice, this changes the facts of the case rather dramatically, doesn't it? It certainly does. During the show, it was Bonnie who was on stage the whole time. So Bonnie couldn't have committed the crime. But Betty, on the other hand, who was under stage, did have the opportunity. Oh well, so now we have two suspects. Wait just a minute there, Lobster Boy. I didn't do it. That's right. Betty might have a foul mouth, but she would never kill anybody. Hey, who's got a foul mouth here? Well, speak up.
Hold it!
Please save your sibling squabbling for later. Betty, you must have been in the understage passage during the show. Otherwise, you wouldn't have known about the stage list being moved. So what exactly were you doing down there? Fine, I'll testify. Anything to get you off my back. Prosecutor Sadnetty, Betty DeFan is ready to testify. What do you say? Betty, you lied to this humble servant of the Holy Mother. Hey, what else could I do? I couldn't blow our cover and ruin our magic act. Besides, am I going to go to your twilight hell or whatever for being a liar? You will indeed. However, it won't be after your death. Rather, I shall give you a taste of your punishment on this mortal coil in interrogation hell. Now then, Betty DeFan, please explain to this court what exactly you were doing under the stage. It's true, I had business in the understage passage because of the upcoming trick. It was the fire trick, right? The one Mr. Weeze was supposed to do. That's right. It's a very dangerous trick, so I had to make sure we were prepared for it. It was in the script, and I really wanted to see it, but I couldn't because of the accident. Shut up. You're gonna give it away. Anyway, I was real busy. Way too busy to have the chance to kill Mr. Weeze. Well, that was certainly different. How's that for a flawless testimony and alibi? Our magic is real. It's not a trick or a gimmick. Oh my, she's floating. Your Honor. You can see she's being held up from below. You're supposed to pretend you didn't see that. It's a little something called etiquette. But I can't help it. Whenever I see a contradiction or inconsistency, I just have to point it out. Now then, the defense may begin its cross-examination. It's true. I had business in the understage. Okay.
Objection!
I hate to break this to you, Betty, but there's a big flaw in your testimony. As big as the one in that floating trick you did earlier. Harsh words. Well, let me tell you something, forehead boy. No one has ever figured out how we do our teleportation trick. No one except me, you mean? Well, we have even better tricks up our sleeves. We do. I told you to keep it zipped. Now, don't fight, you two. Mr. Justice, what's this about a flaw in the testimony? The script has this to say about the fire trick. This will be dangerous. Make sure the fire bucket is ready. However, we found the fire bucket lying empty backstage except for a layer of dust. You didn't even attempt to get ready for the next trick, did you, Betty? You got me. Betty DeFan, you will explain yourself. There's nothing to explain. Come on, Betty. We can't hide it any longer. we might as well tell them, shut up. You can barely take care of yourself. Don't try and tell me what to do. Well, if neither of you will explain, I guess I'll have to. The reason Betty didn't prepare for the fire trick is because she knew the show wouldn't go on. You didn't prepare for the fire trick because you knew, didn't you? You knew that the body would be failed and that the show would then be cancelled. Don't be ridiculous, you insignificant speck of a man. I'm gonna yank those lame bangs off of yours off. Is that what you want?
Objection!
Whatever, they can grow back. Now stop stalling and just tell us the truth already. I can't reveal my secrets. I'm a magician.
Objection!
You have been chasing the shadow of an illusory culprit defense. And having chanced upon a convenient target, you have let yourself get carried away. Exactly, where's your proof? And yet I can see that the witness's case for false words has also been proven. I advise you to confine your deceitful trickery to your magic act, witness. The deceitful trickery.
Objection!
As your court-appointed therapist, I would like to add something here, Betty. You finally let yourself be who you really are. But if you continue to hide behind lies, you'll just be imprisoning your heart all over again. But all these questions mean you're trying to put me in prison for real. So I'll be behind bars either way. Does that mean you're admitting your guilt? Of course not. I can't believe you people. Every one of you thinks I did something I didn't do. You. Lobster boy, cue ball geezer, head case rat, Cerberus monk. Cue ball geezer, a head case brat, really? But Betty, calm down. Come on now. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Now look, I'm not the murderer, I tell you. Then how did you know the show would be called off before the fire trick? I told you we can't reveal our secrets. We're under contract. Contract? What is she talking about? Be that as it may, you're obviously a suspect in this case.
Objection!
I'm beginning to see the karmic threads that make up the intricate tapestry that is this case. Allow me to summarize your assertions, Ethan. First, that the victim was killed in the understage passage. And second, that the witness and the accused are the only two who could have done it. Exactly. What's more, Betty knew that the body would be found, and that the magic show would then be called off. Therefore, it's reasonable to conclude that Betty killed the victim understage. But what if Betty knew that the show would be called off for some other reason? Like what? In the course of my investigation, I found it strange that the dragon set piece fell when it did. That, in conjunction with the body tumbling from the coffin in such a dramatic fashion, all seemed too perfect for mere happenstance. It was as though the entire chain of events had been planned out in advance. Planned out. After deciding to take this case, I scrupulously studied everything I could about the mass media in this country. I read the newspaper, old news reports. I even browsed tabloid magazines. How very industrious of you. I'm impressed. During this process, I learned about a strange practice favored by the TV world. A practice called the hidden camera prank. Betty and Bonnie, you knew about this, did you not? About the dead body appearing, the set piece falling, the show being suspended. You two were informed of this plan by Take-Two TV in advance, correct? Is that true? Betty, please, let's tell them now. I can't hold it in anymore. Dang it. But fine, you got us. Everything the prosecutor said is true. The TV station paid us to cooperate with them on this plan. It was all a prank. A big setup planned out in advance. Mr. Reese showing up dead in the coffin. The set piece falling down. It was all completely scripted. It was all a prank. Bonnie, is this really true? Yes, Mr. Reese was supposed to pretend to be dead. That's how it was supposed to go. So he was in on it too. That's right. He was supposed to show up dead in the coffin, and then the set piece would fall down. Trucy would be shocked and start to panic. That's how the prank script went. What the heck kind of prank is that? But we never thought he would actually wind up dead. That was the only thing that was different from the script. Poor Mr. Reese. I'm so completely lost right now. Well, Betty and Bonnie, it certainly sounds like you have some explaining to do. Alright. I guess desperate times call for desperate measures. Just this once we'll share how it was done with you. So listen carefully. You'll never hear this kind of thing anywhere else. After our teleportation trip, I went down under stage, and Mr. Reese's body appeared from the coffin on stage. It was time for Betty to do her job in the understage passage. That's right, I used the remote control for the winch connected to the dragon set piece, and made it fall down. And just before the dragon fell, I called Trucy to the backstage so she wouldn't get hurt. After that, the plan was for Mr. Reese to come back to life in front of a panicked Trucy. He was supposed to laugh and fly up and away. That was how it was scripted anyway. But for some reason, he really did turn up dead, so he kinda just stayed on the ground. Oh, what kind of sick joke is that? It sounds like a terribly mean-spirited prank to me. The poor defendant was trying to do her magic show. I guess so. I'm sorry, Trucy. Whatever. It was all the ratings Waha's idea anyway. It sounds like just the kind of thing a guy like him would come up with. This is the prank plan script we got from the ratings Waha. Dang it, you made us break our contract. Now we won't get paid. But where does this all leave us? Who killed the victim, and when? Yes, exactly. Those are the key questions. If Mr. Reese was only pretending to be dead in the coffin as a part of the prank, then when he was understage, there would still be life within him. And if that is the case, Then Betty, who was also understage, may be excluded from our list of suspects. Witness: was the victim alive up until he entered the coffin? Well, now that we've spilled the beans, we might as well show you this video. Greetings, viewer. It is I, the great Mr. Reeves. We are currently in the middle of Trucy's escape trick. Having snuck through the understage passage undetected, I am now hiding backstage, preparing to play a little prank on Trucy. I'm about to hide in the coffin, which Trucy will stab with her rubber sword. And when the coffin opens, I'll be in it acting as though I've met my maker. Can you imagine the look on Trucy's face then? I can hardly wait. He's about to hide in the coffin. It would seem the threads of karmic destiny have led us to the truth. The victim passed through the understage where Betty the Phantom was. They came up into the backstage area. We know this because Mr. Reeves appeared to be backstage when he shot the video we saw. It appears that way, yes. In defense, you proposed the following, did you not? What if the victim was killed under the stage before being put into the coffin? But then what about this video? This footage was taken just before Mr. Reeves entered the coffin. So does that mean... Yes, it is horrible, but true. The tragedy did indeed play out right there on the stage. Then into the coffin where Mr. Reeves was hiding, Trucy Wright thrust her blade. See? Told you so. So are you saying the incident was a tragic accident that happened during a prank? It would be an accident if the accused had no knowledge of the prank beforehand. So let us ask the accused herself. Miss Wright, did you have prior knowledge of the prank? What? I... Tell him, Trucy, you didn't know anything about it, right? Of course I didn't. I didn't know a single thing about it.
Objection!
Still think you can play innocent, do you? In that case, you leave me little choice but to present this piece of evidence. It looks like some sort of note. I found this note in the dressing room after the incident. At the time, I did not understand what it meant, but all this is clear to me now. What's this? Let's see. It says, get the video camera after Mr. Reeves comes tumbling out. It is a note signed by the accused, instructing Bonnie to collect Mr. Reeves' video camera from him, it seems. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. I found it in the dressing room before the show. When I saw it, I realized that Trucy knew about the prank. It does bear her signature, I'll give you that much. So the defendant had prior knowledge of the prank. It would appear so, yes. When she learned about the plan to trick her, she decided to use it to her own advantage. So she thrust the steel sword into the coffin where the victim stood chuckling to himself. Is that not what happened, Miss Wright? Of course not, and I didn't write or sign that note. The handwriting matches yours. all the evidence and testimony points to you being the culprit. But I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Then explain the existence of this note. You can do that, can you not? I can't explain it. I didn't write it, so I don't understand. I didn't kill Mr. Reese. You have to believe me. The silence is deafening. Continue struggling against the threads of your own karma if you wish, accused. Even as you are inescapably caught in the web of fate you spun for yourself. Miss Wright, it is time to resign yourself to your fate. No, I didn't do it. I knew it. That sweet-looking girl, a murderer. She took all those in with that act of hers. I told you, I knew she was a homicidal little witch from the start. But I didn't do it. I really didn't. Why doesn't anybody believe me? Shut up, you killer. We won't fall for that anymore. This is bad. Your Honor, I suggest we put an end to this tragedy now. Give your official ruling and let us offer the victim's soul the last rites it deserves. Very well. I suppose I have no other choice. This court hereby finds the defendant Trucy Wright. The defense has an objection. Apollo, did you, even now you would. I won't give up, and I refuse to let either of them down. Mr. Wright, who's counting on me, and Trucy, who's put all her faith in me. Mr. Justice, the fact that you have raised an objection means that you have evidence with which to refute the first prosecution's claims, correct? Yes, of course, Your Honor. Do we really have anything, Apollo? Actually, we do. There's one piece of evidence we can present here. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may proceed. As we saw in the show footage, there's no question that the defendant thrust the sword into the coffin. The defense doesn't dispute this point. But let us not forget that this was a magic show, filled with tricks and illusions. We can't take everything we see at face value. So you're saying some sleight of hand was somehow involved? Yes, the defense contends that the sword the defendant used was not the cause of death. Now what was it Trucy told me she did just before she thrust the sword into the coffin? Very well. Let us see your evidence then, Mr. Justice. But remember, you interrupted my verdict to make this plain. You will be severely penalized if I find you are bluffing. That's fine, Your Honor. This shows that it's possible that the sword Miss Wright used was not the cause of death.
Take that!
What's this? A sword from the show. That's right, Your Honor. This rubber sword was in the sword stand under stage. During the trick, Miss Wright was supposed to swap the real sword for a rubber sword, and she told us on record that she remembers very clearly that she did. I see. So the sword the defendant thrust into the coffin was a rubber sword, was it? But then why was a steel sword found lying on the stage? Somebody must have put the steel sword there by swapping it with the rubber one. Just after the incident occurred, the dragon set piece fell and the theater was evacuated. The real culprit must have used the resultant chaos to swap the rubber sword for the steel one. You do not know when to give up, Stink Bug. That is not possible. Blood was found in the coffee hole that the sword was thrust into. It must have been left there when the accused withdrew the sword. This is incontrovertible proof that the sword she used was the steel one.
Objection!
But that blood could be the result of some intention crime scene after the fact. After the set piece fell, Jordan disappeared out of the theater. There was plenty of time for somebody to plant that blood there.
Objection!
If the sword the accused used was a rubber one, then when exactly do you propose the victim was killed? Given that Mr. Reese was alive when he entered that coffin,
Objection!
finding the answer to that question is precisely why we need to continue this trial. Let me express my opinion. By all accounts, it is certainly reasonable to suspect the defendant based on the evidence, but as to the question of whether the sword the defendant used was rubber or steel, I believe further discussion is warranted. I suggest we hear from the defendant herself on this issue. Very well, Your Honor. I saved it, somehow. Too close for comfort, but still. Let's adjourn for a brief 15-minute recess. I advise the prosecution and the defense to use this time to prepare. That was Harry. Tell me about it. We barely made it through by the skin of my teeth. I can't say I'm crazy about that prosecutor Sad Maddie either. You know, with the way he says, let it go and move on, as if it's nothing. Let it go and move on. Am I interrupting a secret conclave of villains or something? Got your next evil scheme in the works already. What do you want? Keep making that face, champ, and everybody's going to change the channel. Look this way, Trucy. Now smile for the camera. Let's see those pearly whites. Isn't that what the Grammary Creed tells you to do? How does it feel, Trucy? Everybody online can't stop talking about you. They're calling you a real witch out there. Could this be the end of true Grammary? Go away, you creep. What's this? Something's just charged into frame. It looks like a yellow gorilla or something. Could it be Trucy's pet? Filming is prohibited inside the courthouse. Do you want me to get the bailiff? Filming? What are you talking about? I don't even have a camera on me. What happened to the camera? It just disappeared right before our very eyes. I'll be enjoying the rest of the Trucy show from the gallery. Wasn't that original Grammary show supposed to happen like a while ago? The guy that died almost seems too young to be that one guy. What if Retons here is actually the real, and that's why he's got a vengeance on True Grammary, because he's the real one that got replaced. Roll up your sleeves, dude. I bet there's a scar on your arm. I put out a call for Trucy's fans to come and support her earlier, by the way. Bet I'll get some great footage out of them. This is gonna be good. Hang loose, baby. He called in some of Crucy's fans, but for what purpose? Apollo, that thing Mr. Reddens just did, that was some high-level sleight of hand. Why would he know how to do something like that? I don't know, but he definitely has some serious magic skills. No way. I thought he said magicians were all a bunch of good-for-nothings. Mr. Lawyer. Hello, Bonnie. Can I help you with something? Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he just looks younger, because that's 30, right? Part of me wonders if he actually is Mr. Reeves, though. Like he's the real Mr. Reeves. I mean, if you look at the facial features, it is very similar, right? 30 and 35, and they're pretty close in age. Well, there's something that's been bothering me. Really, what is it? Well, you see... Hey, dummy, what are you whispering to Lobster Boy about? But Betty, who the heck do you think you are? Are you crazy? You want a piece of this? You know you have to talk to me first before you do or say anything. You harebrain. But I... Shut your mouth, you dumb bunny. Come with me now. I wonder what was bothering her. There's no way we're finding that out with Betty constantly hovering over her like that. Court is about to reconvene. Will you be alright testifying? Yes, it's just... I wonder what Mr. Reddens has up his sleeve. I doubt he's bringing in an actual fans. Yeah, probably not. I wonder what he has up his sleeve too. He had better not be trying to get under Truce's skin right now, of all times. You're Trucy right, and you'll be fine. There goes Apollo with his best trick. That's right. Whenever I'm feeling down, I always tell myself I'm fine. Alright, I'll give it a try. I'm Trucy Wright and I'm fine. Thanks, Polly. I think I can do this now. That a girl. Good luck up there on the stand. You'll do great. Thanks. I'll be fine. I can do this. Alright, Justice, you can do this too. Time to focus on the rest of the trial. Court is now back in session. Defendant, please step up to the witness stand. Trucy Wright, magician. Here comes a liar, the deceitful witch. Throw the murderer in jail. the last member of that criminal troupe. We don't want to see you on stage. Order, the gallery will be quiet or I will have you all thrown out on the spot. Oh, what's with all the hecklers? I bet they're the fans Mr. Rettens invited. What a great jerk. Well, he's not going to cite us out. Now then, Miss Wright, this court would like to know if you switched from the steel sword to a rubber one on stage. So please testify about this issue. She's just going to try and trick us again with her magic. Hurry up and convict her already. Give her the death penalty. Silence, all of you. I won't tell you again. Miss Wright, do you feel able to testify? Yes, I'm fine, Your Honor. Trucy, I knew I shouldn't have let her go through with this. I would like to make a small request. How about instead of testifying with words, I show you exactly what happened? Would that be all right, Your Honor? You can witness my stupendous sword-switching magic and judge for yourselves. In spite of everything, she's still smiling. Our Trucy is amazing, isn't she? She sure is. She's doing just fine up there. A true entertainer always keeps a smile on their face. She's faithfully following the true Grandmary Creed even now. She really is something else. It's showtime for magical girl Trucy Wright. Watch carefully now, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, please focus your attention on this sword. Allow me to demonstrate just how sharp this blade truly is. See that? No tricks or gimmicks, a very sharp sword indeed. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, watch as I take the sword and... Presto Swordo! There, I've switched it. And now... As you can see, the blade is not steel, but rubber. But... Bravo, Miss Wright. Wow, she switched them in a flash. I couldn't see her do it at all. She's completely turned the room around. The hecklers are being drowned out by all the cheering. Oh, where did the steel sword vanish off to, Miss Wright? In order to deepen our understanding of the case, please tell us if you would. I'm not asking out of mere curiosity, just so you know. I usually hide the steel sword backstage when I switch them during the show. So when you thrust the rubber sword into the coffin, the steel sword wasn't even on stage, but behind the curtain. Exactly. So you see, there is a trick and a gimmick to it after all. And as for where the steel sword went when I performed the trick just now, it's a secret. Wouldn't want to spoil the magic for you, now would I? That's our Trucy. Yeah, still. Miss Wright, that part where you spun around, that's an actual part of the sword switching trick you do for the show, right? Right. The other parts, like the apple, were just to help with my explanation here in court. That's funny. I think I found an inconsistency in her testimony. And it looks like I'm not the only one. I don't know what it's doing there, but now that I've found it, I have to get to the bottom of it. Now then, Mr. Justice, you may go ahead and question the witness. but try not to ask dumb questions and spoil this wondrous magic. I thought this was supposed to be my cross-examination.
Objection!
Miss Wright, there's something I would like to confirm with you. Oh, what is it, Apollo? There seems to be a discrepancy between the way you performed the trick for us just now and the way it appears in the show footage. What? But that can't be. I performed it exactly the same way both times. Then what's going on here? Miss Wright, I have the show footage right here. And the part where you twirl your cape around is missing from it. What? But I did it. So, it really is the exact moment you switched the swords. Yes, that's right. I knew it. Well, I certainly never expected the defense to expose the accused lie for me. Mr. Justice, does this mean that you are arguing that the defendant did not swap the swords during the actual magic show? No, Your Honor, that wasn't my intention. I mean,
Dragon
I did
Sakata
swap them.
said, "Hey, how are you today?"
Hello, Sakata. Welcome on in. I hope you're having a fantastic existence. I am doing fantastic as well. Thank you for asking. I did swap them. I know I did. I'm absolutely sure of it. Human memory is unreliable at best. But in this case, I am afraid that it is the witness herself who cannot be trusted. We can see the footage for ourselves. The claims of this witness are false. But now that it has been proven that the accused did not swap swords, it means that the use of the steel sword to pierce the copper was wholly intentional. And by the way, was it not you, Mr. Justice, who argued that Mr. Reese's death was not an accident, but murder? I assume you have no objections to that still. It was, after all, your own assertion. The defense has an objection. To you, Mr. Apollo Justice. Oh, thank you very much for the wait, Sakata. Thank you very much. What were you playing, friend?
Stream
You guys
Elements
having fun?
said, "Look who's decided to come swimming with us."
I
This
demand
is
you
their
all
channel,
this
https://www.twitch.tv/dragon_sakata.
I'm sure of it. Would the defense kindly save their spat until after the court is adjourned? Now, after all this debate, it seems we've come back around to the original argument. The defendant knew about the prank plan that would place the victim inside the coffin. What's more, the defendant did not perform the sword switching trick on stage. Through her actions, I'm afraid I have come to see the true intentions of the accused. Her murderous intentions. It's such a shame. But I did switch the sword, I swear. You're knee deep in it now, Justice.
Dragon Sakata said, "I just came to check in. I am a go watch some YTLCYA later. I pour so unfortunately no head pats have this instead."
Okay, friend, have Have a good day. Thank you very much for the raid, and I hope you stay safe. Excuse me. Let's see. You are which one again? Benny. No, that's not right. Body. It's Bonnie. You're mixing the two names together, Your Honor. Pardon me. Do you have something you wish to say, Bonnie? Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to testify. About what? The more I think about it, the less possible it seems. I don't believe Trucy killed Mr. Reeves. Bonnie? Hey, what's the big idea? Such an incredibly gifted and talented magician would never commit murder. I refuse to believe it. What are you talking about, you harebrained hare? You keep your trap shut. I got a bag of baby carrots for you, so chew on those and pipe down. No, I won't be quiet. What's the matter with you? Didn't you hear me? Tetrusi said something to me once. She said, no matter how scared you get, no matter how mean people are to you, you can't give in or give up. That's what being a professional magician is all about. Isn't that right, Trucy? That's right, Bonnie. I've always been afraid to stand up to Betty, afraid to defy her, so I did what she said. But when I saw Trucy today, she gave me strength. She's just going to try and trick us again with her magic. Hurry up and convict her already. Give her the death penalty. I would like to make a small request. How about instead of testifying with words, I show you exactly what happened? Would that be alright, Your Honor? You can witness my stupendous sword-switching magic and judge for yourselves. Seeing her courage, the way she kept smiling despite everything, she's just incredible. So I'm not going to run away. I'm scared, but for once, I'm going to be brave. What have you done to my sister, Trucy Wright? You've practically brainwashed her. It's the power of Trucy's conviction. That's what it is. It's touched Bonnie's heart. Yeah, Trucy really is one magical girl. Bonnie, is the topic of your testimony related to that thing that was bothering you? The thing you tried to tell us about in the lobby during the recess? Yes, ever since I saw the show footage, something's been nagging at me. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but something is off. I feel like something about it is different from what I saw on the stage. What do you mean by that, Bonnie? I wonder if what was shown on TV
Stream
is
Elements
really the same as what happened
said,
on stage.
Stay moist, my friends. Hydrate.
Of course it is. The show has only been performed once after all. It can't show anything other than what happened on that stage.
Objection!
But Bonnie's testimony deserves our attention. We have to examine the show footage. But what can we check it against? Do you have some other footage of the show? Oh, well, I have some show footage. You do? One of the TV station's cameramen said he was a fan of mine. He kept his camera on me throughout the entire show. And then, afterwards, he gave me the footage he shot as a present. He did. To tell you the truth, I thought it was kind of creepy, so I was going to get rid of it.
Hold it!
But please submit that footage to the court. Now then, let's take a look at this new footage. wow. Okay then. He really did keep his camera on Bonnie the whole time, didn't he? I think this cameraman needs to keep his personal feelings out of his work. Well, Defense, do you still believe this new show footage is worth inspecting? Of course I do. Okay, so how are we going to go about this? Let's try comparing the two. We just might find an inconsistency between them. An inconsistency. Yes, the two pieces of footage are the same scene, so they should match up. But Bonnie felt sure there was something off about the original footage. So if we can pick out what's different between the two, we'll know what Bonnie found strange. Exactly. Plus, we may figure out why the original doesn't show the sword switching trick. Your Honor, the defense would like to compare these two pieces of show footage. Very well, I will allow it. What a waste of time. Apollo, do you know how to compare the two pieces of footage? No, I've never done it before. I'll give you a little lesson then. Use the video player's buttons to go through the footage. When you want to speed through, use the fast forward button. And if you want to go back, use the rewind button. If you want to halt the playback, just use the pause button. Oh, and by the way, if you fast forward or rewind when the playback is paused, you can do a slow frame by frame playback. Okay, and so how do I switch between the two videos? Just use the switch camera button. Now if you find a difference between the two pieces of footage, put the cursor over what's different and present it to the court. Thanks, Athena, you really know your stuff. Not really, I just gave it some gusto and then went with my gut on most of it. What? I sure hope she guessed right. Anyway, let's give it a try.
Take that!
This is it right here. Take a good look at the scene compared to the video shot from the front. The playing cards don't appear in the video shot from the front. You're right. What's going on here? Miss Wright, what can you tell us about these playing cards? Those? They're the cards I throw when I do the sword switching trick. What? Mr. Justice, does this mean? Yes, it means that the sword switching trick was cut from the TV show footage. So the footage was edited. Yes, with malicious intent. That is absurd. Well, we must get to the bottom of this right away. Bailiff, the TV station might still have the unedited footage. Go see what you can find out. Yes, Your Honor. It's you. Now hold up, Your Honor. This is all just a big misunderstanding. Believe you me. Give the guy a chance to defend himself before you start pointing fingers. And who might you be? Right. Sorry about that. Got ahead of myself there. Here is my business card. Charmed to make your acquaintance, Your Honor. Oh, well, how very polite of you. It's lovely to meet you too, Prosecutor Sad Maddie. Please take my card. A business card. Yes, I've read about this custom among businessmen in this country. I have even familiarized myself with the various replies. How do you do, good sir? Or what's crackin' lackin', homie, for example? You're from Take Two TV, are you, witness? Come to think of it, I believe I've seen you on television before. Yes, Roger Brettons, otherwise known as the Ratings Waha. He is a TV producer and appears on many of his own shows as of late. He is best known for his catchphrase, "Hang loose, baby." Oh my, so you're the Ratings Waha. Hang loose, judgy baby. Nice courtroom you got here. I never thought I would get to meet you in person. But Prosecutor Sadnatty, how do you know so much about him? In preparation for the case, I watched all of his shows. I found the Ratings Waha Goes to Burger Barn of particular interest. It inspired me to visit that restaurant straight away to learn more about the local cuisine. What? You went to Burger Barn? Who would have thought? You must have really wanted to try it, buddy, 'cause that line, compared to my ascetic training, an hour's wait is nothing. I recommend the Southwestern Burger with jalapeno jack cheese, by the way. That does sound good. I'm having a really hard time picturing him in line for burgers. Prosecutor Sadnatty's unexpected enthusiasm for food aside, Mr. Redden's, what is this misunderstanding you mentioned? Well, for starters, it's true that the footage was edited. You'll get your hands on this anyway, so I might as well show you the unedited footage. It's a pretty long video, so I'll just show you the part with the playing cards. You can see the cards when Cruci spins around, so keep your eyes peeled. Did you see the part that was cut where Cruci switched the swords? She spins around and the playing cards go flying. Everything's like it's supposed to be. Then it seems the defendant really did swap swords during the trick, which means the sword Miss Wright thrust into the coffin was the rubber one. In other words, Miss Wright couldn't have killed Mr. Reeves. Yeah, see, that's the first misunderstanding right there. What do you mean? Well, Cruci definitely did swap swords, as you saw. So yeah, maybe she didn't kill Mr. Reeves when she stabbed the coffin, but that just means he was killed after he showed up pretending to be a corpse. So you're saying that up until that point, everything was going according to the script. If that's true, then when and how exactly do you think he was killed? It was after the dragon set piece came crashing down. I say Cruci murdered Mr. Reeves when she was hidden from view behind the set piece. She could have easily done it behind that huge dragon and nobody would be the wiser. I see. Indeed, there is a ring of truth to your assertion. You bet. There's a suspicious looking shadow in the footage too. It's toward the end of the footage, just before the dragon hits the stage. It might be easier to just see it for yourselves. It's only for a split second, so it's hard to catch, but look here. This suspicious shadow must be Trucy. She's using the steel sword she hid behind the curtain during the trick to kill the victim. Now that you mention it, I suppose it does look that
Objection!
way. This witness is just trying to ram his theory down our throats, Your Honor. And that's not all. Aren't we forgetting that the witness will create the sword switch out of the footage? You see, there's your second misunderstanding right there. Your Honor, would you mind if I testified about it? I've seen people testify on TV, and I've always wanted to give it a shot. That would be fine with me, Prosecutor said Maddie. This is quite unexpected. It threatens to disrupt the karmic course of this case. Hey, lighten up, pretty boy. You're gonna like what I've got to say. Promise. Very well. However, if you do anything to impede the last right's fourth victim, I will have you removed. All right, with Prosecutor Sadnatty's permission, please give us your testimony, Mr. Reddens. Roger Reddens, the ratings raw. Now Kaiser of the courtroom. I'm taking over the floor, so listen up, loyal viewers. It wasn't deliberate, I tell you. Footage is meant to be edited, I tell you. Scenes are spliced together and long or boring scenes are cut out. All the stations edit footage this way. It wasn't like it was done maliciously or something. It was just a coincidence that particular scene was cut. It wasn't intentional. Or what? You got some proof that I had an ulterior motive for editing that footage. I see. So you're saying it was a coincidence that the sword talking scene was cut? That's right. Glad you got the picture. Coincidence. That's just a little too convenient if you ask me. An objection. How cool. It sure packs a lot more punch when you hear it live. Do that again. I want to get another shot from a different angle. My objection is not for your entertainment. And cut. Then, I got some good stuff there. Mr. Reddens, filming is prohibited inside the courthouse. My bad, Judge. And if the defense has an issue, it can point it out during its cross-examination. Footages need to be edited.
Hold it!
Of all the scenes you could have cut, why the sword switching trick? That seems like too much of a coincidence to me. So now you're going to tell me how I'm supposed to edit my programs. Big shot. It's hard being boss kid. You gotta make the tough choices like which content gets cut. Then let me ask you this. Why exactly did you make such a tough choice in this case? You wouldn't understand, champ. It's all about artistic vision. I tell you, people tell you how to do your job when they don't know the first thing about it. I may not know TV, but I know evidence law, and boy do I have some for you, champ. I might not be able to show that your selective editing was intentional. However, I know you bear the defendant ill will, and this is the evidence that proves it.
Take that!
What's that you got there? This is the contract you had Miss Wright sign just before the magic show. This contract between the first party, Take-Two TV, and the second party, Miss Wright, reads, if, through the fault of the second party, the show must be cancelled in part or in full, the second party will pay $3 million as compensation to the first party. The $3 million. And that's a completely unreasonable sum. I couldn't agree more, and of course Miss Wright doesn't have that kind of money. Nevertheless, Roger Reddens had her sign this unuseful contract anyway. Or more accurately, he conned her into signing it. Conned her? How did he do that? There's a trick to the clipboard that was used by Miss Wright to sign her contract. It houses carbon paper that can secretly copy her signature onto other documents. Oh, come on now. That's quite a nasty accusation you're slinking my way. For starters, you don't have any clue by who hidden that carbon paper stuff. Just because Trucy and her agency can't pay up, that doesn't mean I conned her. But $3 million, that's totally out of reach for the average person. In any case, this is important new information. Please add it to your testimony, Mr. Rettens.
Objection!
You must be quite the con man if you can fool a magician with a simple trick. But if you think you can con a lawyer, you're very much mistaken. Hey kid, would it kill you to enunciate in front of the camera? You know, like a newscaster. I would like you to take a look at Miss Wright's signature here on this note. Now let's compare that signature to the one here on this contract. Well, would you look at that? They're exactly the same. That's right, Your Honor. Not just similar, but exactly the same. Nobody can sign their name in exactly the same way twice, unless it's a copy. These signatures are proof positive that you conned Miss Wright, and they definitely prove your malicious intent. Not bad, lawyer guy. Didn't know you had it in you. This is really getting interesting now. It'll get great ratings for sure. Don't try to dodge the issue, Mr. Rettens. The fact is that you bear ill will against my client, so the show footage was definitely edited with malicious intentions. Isn't that right?
Objection!
What a forced argument, defense. All you have really proven is not his ill will toward Miss Wright, but his pecuniary greed. That's right. I just wanted money, baby. Fat stacks of cheddar, that's all. After all, I had never even crossed paths with Trucy before this magic show, so I would have absolutely no reason to bear her any ill will, right? He didn't bear her any ill will. That chance. This guy definitely has some major hate for Trucy. Well, not Trucy, but the Grandmary, specifically. You'll see, I'll dig up the dirt and expose the dark heart behind that sweet smile. I'll prove those Grandmary magicians are all a bunch of lowlifes. I can't prove it with anything, but the things he said all point to that fact. There must be something between the two of them that gave birth to this grudge. Some sort of connection that not even Trucy is aware of. Your Honor, I would like to argue that Roger Rettens and Trucy Wright must have crossed paths before. There must be some hidden connection between them. Hidden connection. What is it now? Just what are you getting at, Mr. Justice? It's futile to even ask, Your Honor. Surely it is just another one of the defense's feckless claims.
Objection!
You don't seem to have a very high opinion of me, but once you hear my argument, you'll wish you had taken me a whole lot more seriously. Will I really? Very well then. Do proceed. Did you figure something out, Apollo? Nope, not a thing. What? That was just some good old-fashioned bluffing, courtesy of Mr. Wright's fine training. I hope you know what you're doing. If you're going to make such a bold claim, Mr. Justice, I hope you're ready to elaborate. What is this hidden connection between the defendant and Roger Rettens? That sleight of hand trick Mr. Rettens did during the recess earlier. Filming is prohibited inside the courthouse. Do you want me to get the bailiff? Filming? What are you talking about? I don't even have a camera on me. What if Mr. Reddens is a magician too? What if? I believe it's up to the defense to fill in the blanks, not me. Well, if he is, he may have had some contact with Miss Wright somewhere along the way.
Objection!
Your argument is hardly worth responding to, but by all means, please do continue. As a passage in the sacred scriptures of Puranism states, he who gives a sermon to a monkey is himself a monkey. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say to a dimwit, he isn't going to get it anyway. But we saw Mr. Reddens perform a magic trick. He made his video camera disappear in the blink of an eye. While I think it would be pretty funny if I were a magician, you must have been seeing things. Want me to introduce you to a good eye doctor? If a connection as tenuous as that is all it takes, then every magician in the country could potentially bear ill will toward the accused. I guess you're right. You're not the sharpest knife in the drawer, are you, short stuff? You would do well to cleanse that putrid mind of yours in the holy waters of Mount Ponipani. 3 days under a frigid waterfall, and even you should rise to the level of a monkey. A numbskull for a numbskull. Well, this numbskull has thick skin, so there. I think I get what they're driving at. Even if he is a magician, it's not exactly a reason to bear a grudge against Trucy, is it? Hold on. I can think of one person, one magician who has a reason to bear a grudge against Trucy. Or rather, one magician who has a reason to bear a grudge against Fruit Grandmary. No way! Is something wrong, Mr. Justice? Your Honor, the defense wishes to submit evidence at this time. I see. And what sort of evidence do you have for us? Evidence that points to the real killer, the one who had a motive to commit this crime. What? And what have you come up with this time, defense? Trucy Wright is the sole heir to Fruit Grandmary and its name. This puts her square in the crosshairs of one particular magician. And this piece of evidence points to that one person with a grudge against Miss Wright.
Take that!
And who exactly are you naming, Mr. Justice? 13 years ago, the great Mr. Reese belonged to Truth Grandmary. But then the truth ousted him, and Mr. Reese vowed to get revenge on them someday. And what better way to accomplish that than through the ruination of their sole heir? But Mr. Reese is a victim, Mr. Justice. You've named a dead man as your suspect. But is he really dead? What do you mean, is he really dead? If the fact that Mr. Reese is a victim is what's throwing you off, then how about we consider this possibility? What if the man who died on that stage yesterday wasn't Mr. Reese? Or what? You mean the victim was an imposter? Not Mr. Reese. Then what about the real Mr. Reese? It would mean the real Mr. Reese is still alive. That's absurd. Mr. Justice, who is the real Mr. Reese if not the victim of this case? It's all coming together now. I finally see the gimmick, the trick to this entire case. This should explain everything, Your Honor. The real killer, the one who hated True Granmary and planned to sully its name. The magician lurking in the shadows who set up a fake Mr. Reese in his stead. The real Mr. Reese is...
Take that!
But that's... Yes, it is. Roger Reddens is the real Mr. Reese. What? Him?
Objection!
Oh, hollow red pepper, your impotent seeds sprout not but meaningless, empty words. You can't possibly have proof to support such an outlandish theory. It's not a bad idea for a soap opera, but not even a die-hard fan of Johnny to stick around past the pilot. You want proof? Well, I've got proof. I can prove it by proving that the Mr. Reese in yesterday's magic show was a fake. And to do that, I just need you to look at the spot on this poster.
Take that!
This is the injury Mr. Reese sustained while practicing a magic trick 13 years ago. However, the video the victim shot of himself shows no trace of that injury. Oh my, you're absolutely right. Now, Mr. Reddens, what do you suppose we would find if we took a look at your right forearm? Is there by a chance a nasty 13-year-old scar under that sleeve of yours? Well, Mr. Rettens, why don't you roll up your sleeve and let the court have a look? Or are you hiding something else up there? Come on now, I have nothing up my sleeve. I don't need to hide anything up there, because I require no tricks or gimmicks. For you see, my magic is the real deal. Is this what you were hoping to see? There it is, the scar. Just as I thought. That's right, I am the forgotten magician, abandoned to the dark understage of history. The great Mr. Reese. This is totally absurd. How ironic, wouldn't you say, that this odious mark carved into me by True Granmary would bring me back into the limelight once more? Strange are the karmic threads before me. If the witness is the real Mr. Reese, then who is the victim who perished in the magic show? He was but a fan. I met him on one of my programs several years ago. He said he had become a magician out of admiration for the great Mr. Reese. In confidence, I told him my true identity and let him take on my mantle. And when did this man take over for you? About 2 years ago. I taught him my tricks and he acted as his producer. And so a mere amateur became a popular magician overnight, courtesy of my magic on the stage we call television. Hope you enjoyed the show. You really had us all fooled. Mr. Rettens, or should I say Mr. Reeves, it's your hatred of Fruit Granberry you killed the victim, Mr. Mystery, and then set up Miss Wright to take the fall, didn't you? You did it all just to tarnish the Granberry name. I have no idea what you're talking about, lad. I've set up the prank, that much is true, but it was simply a harmless joke on Trucy, I assure you. Yet she learned the plan and made use of it to commit murder. That is how strongly the criminal element wants the blood of these Granberry.
Objection!
But if it was a secret prank plan that very few people knew about, could you have been the one to use it for murder instead? To his head. Just kidding. Oh, what the heck was that? Heed my words, lawyer lad, for I fear your grasp on reality is slipping. I do believe I told you that my magic is real. It employs neither tricks nor gimmicks. Enough of the ambiguity. Why don't you make your point already? My alibi is as pristine as ever. Would you agree, Prosecutor Sad Daddy? Yes, I suppose that is correct. The witness does have a solid alibi. What? Recall, Ethan, that at the time of the magic show, Mr. Rettens was at Take Two TV, a fact that many people can easily attest to. That's right, I forgot all about that. So what do you think, Your Honor? Would you like me to testify on the matter? Yes, I think you had better. Please tell the court more about your alibi. Very well then, on with the show. Are you watching Magnifique Granberry? The time has finally come for my magic to snuff out your precious pedigree. The Granberry line will be no more. I was at the TV station at the time of the Penrose performance. I was busy working on another TV program. I could spare no time for the magic show. You ask my staff if you doubt my claim. And there it is, a simple and perfect alibi. No tricks, no gimmicks, just the truth. Do you understand now, perhaps? I did not grace the theater with my presence until after the incident, so how could I have committed the murder? His staff did say he was there at the station, so it sure does sound like a rock-solid alibi. But that can't be right. If Mr. Reddens is the killer, he had to have been at the theater. There's gotta be a hole somewhere in his story. I assure you there are no holes on Mr. Reese's stage. No tricks, no gimmicks. True magic doesn't need trapdoors to escape through. Do enjoy my show to the fullest, and my real alibi.
Hold it!
But you did come to the theater eventually, isn't that right? Indeed, anxious to see how the show was progressing, I made my way through the theater. Let's see. My journey took about 10 minutes by car. Could he actually have been at the theater during those 10 minutes, killing the victim? Allow me a stab at reading your mind. Could I have been at the theater during those 10 minutes killing the victim? How in the... But no, I took a taxi. The driver can attest to that. Feel free to call the taxi company if my word does not satisfy you. The driver is a big fan of the Waiting Frog. I even gave him my card. He gave the driver his card. That was very clever of him. He might as well give it up, lad. Questioning real magic is a fool's errand. Besides, you know very well what I was doing at the time of the incident.
Hold it!
How do we know those staff members aren't in cahoots with you? I make it my business to perform solo. My magic has neither need nor want of assistance. After all, one of you could reveal the secret behind my magic, could they not? So he doesn't trust anybody. He's the complete opposite of Trucy. There were many people there in the studio audience who saw the witness as well. Even if he had been able to persuade his own staff to cover for him, he could not have convinced so many complete strangers to do the same. He really has made a rock-solid alibi for himself. It's almost too good, you know? It's eerie how perfect it is. Has all been revealed to you now?
Hold it!
I've got it. Do you have a brother? A brother that looks exactly like you, maybe. Again, it's a twins business. You think the audience will let you get away with using the same gimmick twice in a row? If you do not believe him, Stephens, why not investigate for yourself? Though I am sure your efforts will prove to be thoroughly fruitless. Yeah, I guess the twins theory is a little far-fetched. His alibi really is airtight. I believe we've heard enough. While I believe the witness does indeed harbor some ill will against the defendant, there is no reason to doubt that he was at the TV station at the time of the incident. Yes, the facts prove it was impossible for the witness to have been involved with this crime. These last rites for the victim have dragged on long enough. The soul of the victim himself is so bored that it is resting on top of your Honor's head. It is. The time has come. Let us punish the sinner and guide the victim's soul to the twilight realm. Apollo, Trucy will be thrown in prison, and we'll be out of a job. But if you catch tasty fishy, will you sell me some at a good price? I told you, I have absolutely zero intention of going off on a tuna boat. Think, Justice, you have to figure this out. It's no use. I can't find a single flaw. So what now? Behold my never-ending magic show. Come for the awe-inspiring showmanship of the great Mr. Reeves. And stay for the grand illusion until the end of time. Wait, is he saying that we're still trapped inside some sort of illusion of his? That's what professional magicians do. They make the audience see something that isn't really there. In other words, you make us see illusions, right? We call it misdirection. While we keep you busy believing one thing, we're busy making something else happen. What we say is there really isn't, and what we say isn't there actually is. Could it be? You know what, Mr. Reddens? I guess we have all been spectators to the elaborate illusion you've prepared for us. An illusion that has subtly turned our attention towards something you wanted us to see. What are you going on about, lad? Have you got something, Apollo? I just remembered something Trucy said about misdirection. What a magician says is there really isn't, and what they say isn't there actually is. If we've all been taken for a ride by Mr. Redden's magic, then maybe he's made us see something that wasn't really there. It's time to rethink all of my assumptions about this case. What have we been made to believe was there when it actually wasn't? What have we taken to be the absolute facts of this case? If I re-evaluate the validity of all of these things, then just maybe... Athena, there's something uncanny about this case. Okay, what is it? Reticence alibi, it's too perfect. That's true. It's like it's impossible to break no matter how hard we try. But maybe that's the trick. Maybe that's exactly what he wants us to think. I'm not following. We are not making any headway here because we've been so focused on breaking his alibi. I think I get it. You're saying he's using misdirection on us, right? It's definitely a possibility. Would the defense care to share with everyone what it's discussing over there? Your Honor, we believe that if we were to reconsider a certain assumption, we may finally arrive at the truth. In fact, I think we'll even finally see who's hiding behind the curtain, so to speak. And what is this certain assumption you're thinking of? This is the one key assumption we've been taking for granted this whole time. What if the culprit was somewhere other than the theater at the time of the crime? What if there was some way to commit the murder without actually being there? If that were the case, then Mr. Redden's perfect alibi would become irrelevant.
Objection!
How could one person stab another to death with a sword without physically being there? Furthermore, we all saw what appears to be the culprit's shadow in the footage.
Objection!
But couldn't we just as easily assume that the shadow does not belong to the culprit? Well, if it's not the culprit's, then whose is it? I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm on the right track. We've all seen something that looks like this shadowy shape before, Your Honor, during the magic show itself. In that case, please point it out in the show footage for us. This is the thing that looks suspiciously similar to the shadowy figure of the culprit.
Take that!
Doesn't this shadow resemble the suspicious shadowy figure? Now that you mention it, it does, doesn't it? Miss Wright, could you identify the shadow for the court? Let's see. I believe that's Mr. Hat's shadow. It's from when he's being pulled up from the stage to the catwalk overhead by wire. Then could this shadow that's shown later in the footage be Mr. Hat too? No, that's not possible. After Mr. Hat was pulled up to the catwalk, he stayed up there. In other words, the second shadow was from some other figure being pulled up. Some other figure? I'm afraid you'll need to be more specific than that, Mr. Justice. He's right. We've come this far. I'll just have to figure it out from the clues I have on hand. What is the second shadow shown in the footage?
Take that!
If we consider what was happening on the stage at the time, there's only one answer. The shadow belonged to the fake Mr. Reeves. In other words, Mr. Manoff Mystery, the victim. Please take a look at this prank plan script. Mr. Mystery was to pretend to be dead and then fly up into the air after that. Isn't that right, Mr. Rettens? Indeed, and what of it? I contend that that's exactly what happened. The victim was wearing a stunt harness around his waist. It was most likely attached to a stunt wire so that he could be pulled up into the air. So you're suggesting that, after pretending to be dead in the coffin, the victim flew up into the air, just as the prank script says. Exactly. We just couldn't see him go flying up because the dragon was blocking our view. And that last trick, ladies and gentlemen, is the true pace de resistance of the culprit murderous magic show. Don't tell me you've got it all figured out. Yes, I think so. If we can just look beyond Mr. Redden's last bit of misdirection, we should finally be able to see the real truth. The victim must have been pulled up to the catwalk, just like Mr. Hat, and hit the cushioning up there with considerable force. I just have to figure out what else happened up there at that time. Are you ready to elaborate, Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor. I'm ready. In that case, please answer me this. Why did the culprit make the victim fly up into the air like that? Just why did the culprit have the victim fly up after he appeared in the coffin? And how did the victim actually die when he was only pretending to be dead in the coffin? If we can figure out how these two questions relate, the answer should become clear. Could it be Mr. Mystery must have thought he was still just part of the prank when he appeared on stage? He probably didn't suspect a thing as he was being pulled into the air after Miss Wright was called backstage and just as the set piece fell. But the culprit had already planted the real murder weapon in a cushion in the catwalk. It was probably a knife or blade of some sort. What do you mean? Yes, it really was a magical murder. Just as the prank script said, Mr. Mystery was whisked up into the air and straight into a blade there in the catwalk. In other words, this murder was committed remotely through the use of a magic trick. What? Remotely? Using this method, it wouldn't matter where Mr. Reddings was at the time of death. But how exactly does it work, Mr. Justice? Just before the murder occurred, the dragon set piece was up in the catwalk. And if it and Mr. Minoff Mystery were connected to each other by a wire at the time, by carrying out the fake plan, Betty made the dragon set piece fall, which caused Mr. Mystery to rocket straight up and into the blade in the cushion. The cushion was high up enough to be hidden from the audience's view, that's why nobody saw the blade. Then that big gash in Mr. Hat's cape. The blade must have been set up overhead sometime before the magic show. Mr. Hat must have been splashed by it too when he was pulled up to the cushion. I can't believe it. I had no idea. I was told that Trucy would freak out if I made the set piece fall. That's the only reason I did it. You were used, Betty. Roger Reddens used you. I thought he was my little puppet to boss around, but it was the other way around. After the incident occurred, Mr. Reddens arrived at the theater. He got the murder weapon and swapped the rubber sword for the bloodied steel one. That's also when he lured the victim's body down to the stage. But how did he have time to do all that? When the set piece fell, the audience was evacuated from the building. He was able to do all those things after the fact because there was no one around to see it. A horrific murder camouflaged by a spectacular magic show. That sounds like the kind of murder only a magician could pull off. As long as the show proceeded as it was scripted, Mr. Mystery was doomed to die. That's why it was you, Mr. Reddens, who killed the victim, all the way from the TV station. This prank plan, or should I say murder plan, proves your murderous intent.
Sakura! Satura ima o mandomo samashi de tashi no ketare gase o soro ka!
Enough. You dim-witted, ignorant, imbecile, putrid red pepper. And he can't possibly have a counter-argument to make. Talk about not knowing when to let it go and move on. Do you have a rebuttal or something, Prosecutor Sadnatty? No blade of any kind was found in the catwalk, which means you have no evidence to support your theory. But Mr. Reddens retreated after the fact. Which still leaves you with no way to prove your wildly fantastic remote murder theory. But without proof, does it not make more sense to believe that the murder was committed there on the stage? That's where the bloodstained sword was found after all. That is a very good point, as the only person who could have committed the crime there on that stage. Trucy Wright remains the prime suspect. It would appear that what you call truth is a little more than a cheap parlor trick. In the end, you have done nothing to prove the accused innocence. It is time at last to let it go and move on. Are you seeing this, magnifique grandmère? My magic is exacting punishment on your grandmother. The grandmère name is done for. Apollo, we need to hit them with a decisive piece of evidence here. I know, that's just what I was thinking. Mr. Justice, do you or don't you have anything to prove that the witness committed this remote murder you propose? Of course I do, Your Honor. This entire incident was carried out exactly according to the script. Right, so theoretically there should be no evidence for us to find or use, which means our best bet is to see if something unscripted happened. There's gotta be something Reddens couldn't have foreseen, and once I find it, that's how I'll expose his murderous trick. Get ready, Mr. Reddens, because I'm about to reveal the secret to your magic. There are no tricks or gimmicks here, just some good old-fashioned logic. As long as the magic show went as scripted, the murder would happen without fail. Everything in this case was carefully planned so that no evidence would be left behind. Still, one thing happened that definitely wasn't in the plan. What part of the magic show wasn't a part of the show's original script? Bonnie made a mistake during Trucy's escape trick. What mistake did Bonnie make during the magic trick? No, I should never say a person's life choices are a mistake. I'm sure she can be a great magician someday if she works hard at it. Good luck, Bonnie. Anyway, getting back to the case, what was it that Bonnie did during Trucy's escape trick? because Bonnie placed Mr. Hat to the right of the coffin instead of to the left. Trucy had to reappear on the side of the coffin opposite to the one in the show's script. But the culprit didn't know that when he first arrived at the theater, which means he was bound to make a slip up when he tampered with the crime scene. This part of the culprit's cover-up attempt was affected by Trucy's new position. Thinking Trucy had appeared on the left, the culprit must have put the blood in the left hole, where the blood was eventually discovered in the right hole during the police investigation. If the killer had originally put the blood on the left side, that means he must have tampered with the scene again afterwards to make it line up with facts. To make the crime scene consistent with facts, the culprit must have That's right, the left and right panels of the coffin are interchangeable. The culprit must have switched the two panels to make the bloodstain fit the facts, but the switch might have also given rise to something unnatural. I remember now. There was something unnatural about the coffin. It's just the evidence I need. Sorry, Mr. Evans, but I have some very conclusive proof of your guilt. Another bluff, is it? There's no way you have anything of the kind. My magic is real, no trick. No, there are tricks and gimmicks to it, just like any other illusion. Or what? After the murder, you switched the left and right panels of the coffin, didn't you? And because you did, you left behind something very unnatural for us to find. This proves that Roger Redden's tampered with the crime scene after the murder took place.
Take that!
The fingerprinting results. What about the fingerprints is unnatural? Let's take a look at the prints the victim left inside the coffin, shall we? If the victim was facing forward in the coffin, his print should have looked like this. However, what we found
Stream
was
elements.
they were
Said,
facing the opposite
Stay
direction.
moist, my friends.
It's quite unnatural
Hydrate.
for the prints to be facing this way, don't you agree? It is strange, isn't it? But how did they get this way? They got this way because the culprit thought the magic show had gone according to script. The culprit thought Mr. Hat would be on the left side of the coffin, and that Miss Wright would also pop up to the left of the coffin as per the show's script. He then assumed she had thrust the sword into the hole on the left side of the coffin. That's why he put blood in the left hole in his mind to cover up his crime. But sometime after leaving the bloodstain, the culprit must have realized his mistake. He found out that, due to Bonnie's mistake, Mr. Hat was to the right of the coffin, and that despite the script, Miss Wright had thrust the sword into the hole on the right. In short, the hole with the blood in it was on the opposite side of the one that Trucy used. To make the blood sortation fit the facts, he had to tamper with the evidence yet again, so he tried to cover his tracks by switching the coffin's left and right panels. And that's how the fingerprints in the coffin ended up backwards. Because the culprit switched the two side panels around, the prints ended up facing the opposite direction. But instead of going to all that trouble with the panels, why didn't the culprit just wipe the blood away and redo it on the other side? I'm afraid that wouldn't have worked, Your Honor, because of a little something called luminol testing. Right, luminol. I almost forgot. Luminol can detect trace amounts of blood even if it's been wiped away, right? That's right. Wiping the blood away would only serve as proof of his meddling. How about it, Mr. Rettins? I did a pretty good job figuring out your trick, didn't I?
Objection!
Trucy Wright could have done the same, just asking silly. You have no proof that was this witness who tampered with the evidence.
Objection!
But I do have proof. What? A person who was in the magic show would never have made the mistake of putting the blood on the wrong side. Least of all Miss Wright, who surely would have remembered she was on the other side. Oh my, you're absolutely right. Why, you impudent. I'm sure you've realized by now, Prosecutor Sad Natty, that your claim that Miss Wright is the culprit just doesn't hold up. You and the accused are most certainly bound for hell. Really? Miss Wright and I? Because I would think you were the ones that get there for trying to convict an innocent girl. The prosecutor said, Nettie, are you alright? As for the true culprit, he is someone who knew how the show was supposed to go, but didn't actually see it, and someone who had the chance to tamper with the crime scene after the incident, and the only person who fits the bill is you, Roger Rettins. Grandmary. If all the secrets to your tricks have been revealed, and with no tricks left, I'm afraid your show has been cancelled. Permanently. All my secrets have been revealed, you say? Don't make me laugh, boy. Mine is the true, real magic. There are no secrets to reveal. Behold, ladies and gentlemen, the true power of the great Mr. Reeves. Witness a magic far greater than true grandmares. Burn. Crumble. Fall to my furious flames. The great Mr. Reeves will bring an end to you all. And now, for the final heir to the Grandmary name, right here, right now, you too shall burn. No, this isn't right. No, I didn't do anything wrong. It's not my fault. I'm not the one to blame. I'm the victim here. Oh, what? Stop. No. Curse you, Grandmary? Curse those Grandmarys. It's all because of them. Even now they wound me. Curse them all to the abyss. Do you really hate us that much? Does your hatred run that deep enough to kill an innocent man? You're damn right. You have no idea what humiliations I had to suffer. Your grandfather, Magnifique Grandmary, kicked me out after I got hurt practicing my magic. He said I was too unskilled, that I would mess up on stage. He threw me out of the troupe just because he was worried about his own reputation. Since I was but a child, it was always my dream to become a great magician. But that Magnifique, he took it all from me. But that's no excuse. That's no reason to do something so evil. Magic is supposed to make people happy, not used as a means for murder. What's the big deal? I just used what I had available to me, that's all. I get it now. That attitude toward magic is why my grandfather kicked you out. You You don't deserve to call yourself a magician. Don't deserve. I don't know about that. After all, you were completely taken in by my magic, were you not? If not for that lawyer over there, you would be on your way to prison as we speak. You're right. I didn't see through your tricks. You see? So in the end, True Cranberry was defeated by the great Mr. Lees. You're not fit to lecture me from on high, Trucy Wright. You don't even deserve to call yourself a magician, you naive greenhorn. Take that, Cranberry. You lose. If anyone needs to learn to let it go and move on, it's this guy. This court and my prison can both burn in the flames of my creation. Bailiff, take Mr. Reddens away and bring a fire extinguisher just to be safe. It looks like we have reached the end. I feel as though I've been watching a grand magic show. It was close, but we just barely made it through somehow. Why does Trucy look so down? Miss Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I'm about to announce my verdict. Could I see that wonderful smile of yours? That smile of a true entertainer, as I do. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, this court finds the defendant, Trucy Wright, not guilty. Court is adjourned. Thank you for everything, Paul. Oh, Trucy, grazie a Dio. Now you can open your show tomorrow, just as planned. Yep, and it's all thanks to you two. But now that Mr. Reese is gone, I'll need to find somebody to replace him. I don't like the way she's looking at me. Trucy, I'm so sorry about everything. What are you apologizing for? Roger Reddens used us. We're victims too, even maybe an accomplice to murder. But Betty, we have to take some of the blame for this too, you know? Even if we didn't know he was planning to kill Mr. Mystery, we did cooperate with him. It's all my fault, isn't it? Neither one of you is to blame. The only one in the wrong is the person who used magic to commit murder, Roger Reddens. Don't you think I know that? Say what you want, but don't think for a second that I still don't hate you. I guess she really does hate me. But Betty, why? You used to be a huge fan of Trucy's. But hey, shut up. I've always hated her. Really, but if we hadn't seen Trucy's magic show, we never would have tried to become professional magicians ourselves. Right? So speak for yourself. But Betty, she'll have her autograph from that day. Just shut up. Was she acting that way this whole time because she's secretly tsundere? Wow, Trucy, I never knew that being the best would be so tough. Come on, Bonnie, we are leaving. We have to get ready for tomorrow's show. You're really excited about performing with Trucy again, aren't you? That's not true, so zip it, dummy. Polly, you think I really am a naive greenhorn? No way. she's not. After all, you were completely taken in by my magic, were you not? If not for that lawyer over there, you would be on your way to prison as we speak. You're right, I didn't see through your tricks. You see, so in the end, True Granmary was defeated by the great Mr. Reeves. You're not fit to lecture me from on high, Trucy, right? You don't even deserve to call yourself a magician, you naive greenhorn. Trucy, don't tell me you're taking what Retin said to heart. Well, maybe a little. I didn't see through his tricks, and I let myself be taken in by his magic. I can't trust myself anymore. Maybe he was right to call me a greenhorn. You shouldn't take stock in his words. He doesn't even know the first thing about you. You're a wonderful Granmary magician. You should be proud of yourself. Thank you, Apollo. But what makes you say that? I know you're a wonderful Granmary magician because of this. My grandfather's notebook. The Granmary Creed. A true entertainer always keeps a smile on their face. When you performed your magic trick in court today, you showed the world your dedication to the troops' creed. Even through all the jeering, you kept a smile on your face and won the crowd over. You are everything Magnifi could have hoped for in an heir. You're a great magician, Trucy. A great magician? Me? You really are. That's why you don't have to worry about what Retin said. Polly, thank you. Still, I couldn't have done it without you. I would have lost my nerve if I had been alone there. But I was able to keep on smiling because of you. Me? I remembered what you said to me in the detention center. After all, you're sure you swapped the swords, right? Yes, I remember doing it. And I just know it wasn't your fault, Lucy. But how can you say that? We don't have any proof it wasn't me. I mean, I know you're a great lawyer, Polly, but I believe in you, Trucy. And I believe in your skill as a professional magician. So I'm going to prove your innocence. Don't worry, you're going to be fine. Your words were what kept me going. Apollo, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now I can be everything I was meant to be. Trucy's real smile is the best. I'm so glad I could help make that happen. Emma, I'm really sorry, Trucy, for everything. But why? Well, I wasn't about to convince Prosecutor Sadnati what a good person you are, and I had to testify against you too. You have nothing to apologize for. You're just doing your job. You're too kind. I don't know about. Is something wrong, Emma? Prosecutor Sadnati, what are you doing here? Detective Sky. Yes? I require your forensic expertise in order to close this case. Come, let us go. Oh wait, Prosecutor Sadnati. The trial is over, Mr. Justice. You and I are strangers once more, with no further need to interact. Strangers? Have you really forgotten all about me? What? You've really changed, Nayuta, telling me to let it go and stuff. What happened to you? Oh, lawyer of impure soul, I have nothing to say to the likes of you. Are you serious, Nayuta? Now, if you will excuse me. There he goes. What was that all about, Apollo? How do you know Prosecutor Sadnati? Let's just say we're old acquaintances. Acquaintances? It seems like something more than that. Yeah, well, You don't like to talk about your past, do you? Because you always change the subject. I guess I'll have to talk about it someday. But for now, come on, let's forget about the past and celebrate Trucy's future. Sure, if you say so. Hey, it's Mr. Wright. Put him on speakerphone, Apollo. What's up, Mr. Wright? Apollo. How's Trucy? What happened at the trial? Did you get a not guilty verdict? Mr. Wright, slow down. Everything's fine. Hi, Daddy. I'm okay now. She was found not guilty in a very dramatic turnabout. Plus, we saved the office. It was a great victory for Apollo. That's a load off my mind. I can't thank you enough, Apollo. Now I know I can trust you to hold down the fort anytime. Mommy, really? Yes, you're a really full-fledged lawyer now in my eyes. A full-fledged lawyer. I still can't wrap my mind around it. Thank goodness you were there to take care of everything, and thank you, Apollo. No need to go that far, boss. Especially not in front of everyone. Oh, and by the way, I won't be able to make it to tomorrow's show, so I was hoping you could go. You'll do that for me, won't you? Of course. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Full-fledged. So Daddy asked you to come to tomorrow's show as my assistant, right? No, he just asked me to go cheer you on. Then I'll be sure to save you the best seat in the house, Polly. The best seat in the house? I really appreciate the thought, but good, then it's settled. Oh Lord. Oh Lord, come on now.
Objection!
I should have known. Yep, that this is what she meant. Magic Girl Trucy Wright will now perform her greatest illusion yet. There are no tricks and gimmicks here, ladies and gentlemen. This is real magic. But wait a minute, you're kidding, right? There is a trick or gimmick, right? I'm too young to die. Now then, Mr. Hat, you know what to do with that sword. No, wait, stop, no! And that is how Trucy and Grand Land ended on a rousing high note, with a big round of applause and Polly's ear-splitting screams. What kind of ending is that? Okay. And now, with the end of that, we are going to switch over. Because we are going to play with a friend now. Assuming she hasn't gotten tired of me saying one more minute to finish that case. I was not expecting that to take another 20 minutes because we were right there at the end. But yeah, anyway.